Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. What then is freedom? The power to live as one wishes. Through doubt we arrive at the truth. Man must suffer to be wise. Sweet is the recollection of difficulties overcome. The diligent farmer plants trees of which he himself will never see the fruit. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. It will steal you blind. Within the character of the citizen lies the welfare of the nation. Morals today are corrupted by our worship of riches. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. The higher we are placed, the more humbly we should walk. Times are bad. Children no longer obey their parents, and everyone is writing a book. When you have no basis for an argument, abuse the plaintiff. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. I have always been of the opinion that unpopularity earned by doing what is right is not unpopularity at all, but glory. A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment. A home without books is a body without soul. Let the welfare of the people be the ultimate law. The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn. Everyone may fairly seek his own advantage, but no one has the right to do so at another's expense. We should be as careful of our words as of our actions. Diseases of the soul are more dangerous and more numerous than those of the body. Not for ourselves alone are we born. Nothing is so secure as that money will not defeat it. Virtue is its own reward. Long life is denied us. Therefore, let us do something to show that we have lived. Advice is judged by results, not by intentions. The most desirable thing in life after health and modest means is leisure, dignity. There is no duty more indispensable than that of returning a kindness. It is exercise alone that supports the spirits and keeps the mind in vigor. It is as hard for the good to suspect evil as it is for the bad to suspect good. Of all nature's gifts to the human race, what is sweeter to a man than his children? When time and need require, we should resist with all our might and prefer death to slavery and disgrace. The life given us by nature is short, but the memory of a well-spent life is eternal. He is rich who wishes no more than he has. It is the character of a brave and resolute man not to be ruffled by adversity and not to desert his post. Nature has granted the use of life like a loan, without fixing any day for repayment. A bachelor's bed is the most pleasant. So near is falsehood to truth that a wise man would do well not to trust himself on the narrow edge. It shows a weak mind not to bear prosperity as well as adversity with moderation. Men ought to be most annoyed by the sufferings which come from their own faults. Crimes are not to be measured by the issue of events, but by the bad intentions of men. It is foolish to tear one's hair out in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. If only every man would make proper use of his strength and do his utmost, he need never regret his limited ability. If the truth were self-evident, eloquence would be unnecessary. In prosperity, let us most carefully avoid pride, disdain, and arrogance. Be a pattern to others, and then all will go well. There are two ways to resolve conflicts, through violence or through negotiation. Violence is for wild beasts. Negotiation is for human beings. Friends, though absent, are still present. Let us not listen to those who think we ought to be angry with our enemies, and who believe this to be great and manly. Nothing is so praiseworthy, nothing so clearly shows a great and noble soul as clemency and readiness to forgive. There is no mortal whom pain and disease do not reach. Studies are the food of youth, the delight of old age, the ornament of prosperity, the refuge and comfort of adversity, a delight at home and no hindrance abroad. They are companions by night and in travel and in the country. Before beginning, plan carefully. There is no one who can give you wiser advice than you can give yourself. You will never make a slip if you listen to your own heart. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by the doubling of our joy and the dividing of our grief. Cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. What is permissible is not always honourable. I hear Socrates saying that the best seasoning for food is hunger, for drink, thirst. Genius is fostered by industry. For surely to be wise is the most desirable thing in all the world. Trust no one unless you have eaten much salt with him. Insofar as the mind is stronger than the body, so are the ills contracted by the mind more severe than those contracted by the body. As long as I breathe, I hope. I prefer the most unfair peace to the most righteous war. Everything is alive. Everything is interconnected. Orators are the most vehement when they have the weakest cause, as men get on horseback when they cannot walk. The more virtuous any man is, the less easily does he suspect others to be vicious. Time obliterates the fictions of opinion and confirms the decisions of nature. Leisure consists in all those virtuous activities by which a man grows morally, intellectually, and spiritually. It is that which makes a life worth living. Glory follows virtue as if it were its shadow. Nature herself makes the wise man rich. The wise man knows nothing if he cannot benefit from his wisdom. Wisdom is not only to be acquired, but also to be utilized. It is difficult to know how much men's minds are conciliated by a kind manner and gentle speech. There is no grief which time does not lessen and soften. He does not seem to me to be a free man who does not sometimes do nothing. When you wish to instruct, be brief, that men's minds take in quickly what you say, learn its lesson and retain it faithfully. Every word that is unnecessary only pours over the side of a brimming mind. The world has not yet learned the riches of frugality. If a man cannot feel the power of God when he looks upon the stars, then I doubt whether he is capable of any feeling at all. Do not hold the delusion that your advancement is accomplished by crushing others. As I approve of a youth who has something of the old man in him, so I am no less pleased by an old man who has something of the youth. He that follows this rule may be old in body, but it can never be so in mind. There are gems of thought that are ageless and eternal. For there is assuredly nothing dearer to a man than wisdom, and though age takes away all else, it undoubtedly brings us that. What one has, one ought to use, and whatever he does, he should do it with all his might. All pain is either severe or slight. If slight, it is easily endured. If severe, it will without doubt be brief. Men of different tastes have different pursuits. They who say that we should love our fellow citizens, but not foreigners, destroy the universal brotherhood of mankind, with which benevolence and justice would perish forever. If we are forced at every hour to watch or listen to horrible events, this constant stream of ghastly impressions will deprive even the most delicate among us of all respect for humanity. The first duty of man is the seeking after and the investigation of truth. To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches. As I give thought to the matter, I find 4 cases for the apparent misery of old age. First, it withdraws us from active accomplishments. Second, it renders the body less powerful. Third, it deprives us of almost all forms of enjoyment. Fourth, it stands not far from death. They condemn what they do not understand. Men decide far more problems by hate, love, lust, rage, sorrow, joy, hope, fear, illusion, or some other inward emotion than by reality, authority, any legal standard, judicial precedent, or statute. Wisdom is not only to be acquired, but enjoyed. Never was a government that was not composed of liars, malefactors, and thieves. The rule of friendship means there should be mutual sympathy between them, each supplying what the other lacks, and trying to benefit the other, always using friendly and sincere words. An acute, first-class brain is the finest asset anyone can have, and if we want to be happy, it is an asset we must exploit to the uttermost. 6 mistakes mankind keeps making century after century: believing that personal gain is made by crushing others, worrying about things that cannot be changed or corrected, insisting that a thing is impossible because we cannot accomplish it, refusing to set aside trivial preferences, neglecting development and refinement of the mind, attempting to compel others to believe and live as we do. This excessive license, which the anarchists think is the only true freedom, provides the stock, as it were, from which a tyrant grows. We are motivated by a keen desire for praise, and the better a man is, the more he is inspired by glory. The very philosophers themselves, even in those books which they write in contempt of glory, inscribe their names. Our minds possess by nature an insatiable desire to know the truth. Most happy is he who is entirely self-reliant and who centers all his requirements on himself alone. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity, and the brute by instinct. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. It is not enough to acquire wisdom, it is necessary to employ it.